What if I told you the law of attraction isn't a law at all, but a phenomenon? A serious scientist documented, named, and explained almost 100 years ago. And what if the reason your manifestations sometimes work and sometimes don't comes down to one principle? He discovered that the spiritual world has almost completely overlooked. Carl Jung called it synchronicity. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand how reality actually responds to your mind. In 1952, Jung published a paper the scientific community basically laughed at. He called it synchronicity, and a casual connecting principle. In it, he described something he'd watched for decades in his practice. A pattern so consistent and so impossible to explain through normal cause and effect that it took him 30 years to find the right words. Here's where he landed, and I want you to really hear this. Synchronicity is the meaningful coincidence of an outer event with an inner state, with no casual connection between them. In plain English, the outer world responds to the inner world. Let me show you how. Principle 1. And this is the key to everything. Synchronicity doesn't happen to everyone equally. Jung was meticulous about this. He noticed these meaningful coincidences clustered around specific conditions. They spiked during intense emotional periods: grief, love, transformation, and most importantly, they appeared most often when a person was aligned between their conscious and unconscious mind. So, let me translate that for your life. The universe responds most reliably when your outer words and your inner beliefs are saying the same thing. And that's exactly why manifestation is so inconsistent for most people. You affirm abundance on the surface, while your unconscious is running scarcity underneath. That split kills the signal. Principle 2. Synchronicity works through what Jung called the collective unconscious. Jung believed that beneath your personal unconscious is a deeper, shared layer connecting all of us. And that synchronicity is how that field communicates. When you set an intention for real inner alignment, and not just your ego wanting something, but your whole integrated self moving in one direction, you send a signal into that field, and it responds. Think of a tuning fork Strike one, and another across the room starts vibrating at the same frequency. That's not magic. That's resonance, resonance. And Jung believed the psyche obeys the same law. Principle 3. And this is where the manifestation world gets it wrong. Synchronicity accelerates when you work with your unconscious, not against it. You cannot force it. You cannot demand it. You can't bully it into existence by repeating affirmations 1,000 times. Jung was explicit. The unconscious responds to authenticity, not performance. What actually accelerates it is inner work, shadow work to clear the blocks, dream work to open the channel between conscious and unconscious, meditation to quiet the ego so the deeper self can be heard. Do those things, and the frequency and the accuracy of synchronicity goes up dramatically. Principle 4. And this is the practical one I want you to actually use. Jung gave a specific instruction almost nobody talks about. He said, pay attention to numinous experiences. He called it numinosum. The numinosum is anything that feels charged with meaning, a dream that won't leave you for days, a phrase that shows up 3 times in 3 unrelated places, a sudden gut feeling about a person that turns out to be dead on. Most people brush these off as coincidence. Jung said that's the biggest mistake you can make, because this is the language of your unconscious. And the more you engage with it, journal it, act on it, honor it, the more clearly and frequently it speaks to you. And principle 5, the one that honestly frees people the most. Synchronicity is not a reward for being spiritually enough. This belief quietly ruins more journeys than any other. The idea that if you can just be positive enough, grateful enough, high vibe enough, the universe will finally pay out. Jung found that thinking corrosive. It's just the ego trying to control things in a spiritual costume. Synchronicity isn't a vending machine. It's a relationship. And like any real relationship, it deepens through honesty, presence, and your willingness to be changed by what it shows you. The people whose lives are full of it aren't the ones with the perfect morning routine. They're the ones who've done the deepest inner work and learned to hold their intentions lightly enough that reality can actually deliver them. Jung spent his whole life trying to show us one thing. The inner world and the outer world are separate. They're two faces of the same reality. And the bridge between them, the proof you can match, unfold in your own life, is synchronicity. So, starting today, pay attention to the coincidences. Write them down. Look for the pattern. Ask yourself what your unconscious is already trying to tell you. And do me a favor, drop the most powerful synchronicity you've ever experienced in the comments. The kind that made you stop cold and think. That cannot be a coincidence. I want to read every one. Join our school community for unlimited support. Link in the description. Don't stop here. YouTube has another video waiting for you right now. See you there.